What you're going to listen to with a gentleman in Delta State who contacted me several months ago. Subsequently went on to send me payment and he joined my Black Soldier Fly network. So this is a gentleman who came to me mainly because he was a catfish farm business owner. Doing well, the details are in the write-up, so you check the link in the description box. But basically, he was interested in learning how he could start breeding BSF larvae to feed his catfish. And I successfully linked him up with a gentleman in a particular part of the country. I don't want to give too more details for now, since this gentleman is the one doing most of the work. It seems he's the one coming through for most of my people now. This makes at least the second person that I have directly linked with him, and they're doing well. So he's telling, I linked him up, and then today I decided to follow up with him. He had sent payment to the guy. He's received the eggs from the guy. They've hatched, and according to him, they're doing well. Now, the next step I'm going to go on to is to actually ask him to do us some photos and short videos just to show what things are like on his farm. He even told me he's already built love cages and all of that. Beautiful. But this is a guy who is actually not even somebody that has bought any of my software products or indeed any of my products. He came because he was just interested in BSF. Now, why am I putting information like that in the Finding Good Buyers video series? It's because I want to show you that you cannot always be thinking of selling directly all the time. Sometimes you can create resources that are useful to others, all right, that complement what you do, but are useful to others, and you can sell them. So you've got to be a thinking person. I've said it before. I wrote an article many, many years ago. I think it was in 2006. You have to be entrepreneurial. You have to think like an entrepreneur if you want to succeed in any area of business. There's a quotation credited to Richard Branson. I'm going to look for it and I'm going to insert it at the end of this video. All right. He talks about the fact that he always wanted to be a journalist. That was his dream. But it's found out that in order for him to succeed, he had to first of all become an entrepreneur. So you see, you may have your passion in art, in medicine, in broadcasting or mass communication, in sports or whatever. You know what? You first of all have to find a way to sell yourself so that people can pay you to do what you're doing. This is why you see some of the most successful sports people in the world. They have agents because they are so how do I put it now? Engrossed, or there's a need for them to stay very deeply engrossed in honing their skills as experts in that field, that they cannot find time to begin to, how do I put it now, to do marketing on their own. So they have to get somebody that will help them do that, cover that aspect, so that they are not found wanting, because the marketing and the negotiation and all of that is something that requires a lot of finesse, a lot of skill. All right. And if they don't do it right, they'll not get the best deals. So they usually have an agent they pay handsomely to handle their business, to help them get the best deals from people that are interested in buying, quote unquote, their skills. So if you are not good at the marketing, the sales and marketing, and you want to focus, or you think you prefer to focus on doing what you're expert at, then get somebody to do it for you. This is why some people are hiring me to help them handle their web marketing and all of that, and come up with the ideas that they're going to use, and we discuss and we agree and I will implement. But I recommend that you at least give yourself some foundational understanding of how it's supposed to happen. So for instance, like I said, with this man, what happened is that I made money not by selling any of my products. Instead, I said the market is in need of this solution right now. I looked at the fact that a lot of people were saying the cost of feeding their fish, the cost of feeding their pigs was going higher and higher and higher. So I said, okay, what are the alternatives? I began to look at the and the main source of expense, the main cost element was always feeding. And I looked at protein sources were extremely expensive and were getting more difficult to acquire. So I said, okay, what are the alternative sources of protein and other energy sources? And I found out, okay, they were looking at live protein sources. For the little fish, you talk of something like Artemia, which was the synthetic live protein. And I said, okay, Daphnia will be the natural alternative. But how do you get Daphnia? So I came up with the write-up. I brought up one of my write-ups that talks about how you can get Daphnia from the wild and cultivate Daphnia on your farm. Then I thought, they are talking about real-life maggots. You know, the maggots from the housefly and all that. Then I also we also have black soldier fly, which is even better. It's hygienic and all of that. And then I put all those information together for black soldier fly and built up a huge library of black soldier fly information. So there's something called information brokerage. And look, I'm living proof. You can make money selling ideas and information. I'm living proof of it. So my challenge to you, my admonition to you is that you look at what you do for a living, what you're doing on your farm or whatever business you're in, your real estate business. How can you compile information that people need? You've got to study the marketplace. What information are people willing to pay for? What information have people ever paid you for? What have you ever seen people hungry to get and willing to part with money for? That is in relation to what you do. Or sometimes it may not even be in relation to what you do, but you know that people value it. And you have the resources, the time, okay, and the capacity to compile that information and put it together in one body and offer it for sale. Now, don't offer to sell it directly. Instead, offer access to it. That access is what you sell, so that nobody will accuse you of selling something you didn't create. So, in other words, you compile it. The investment you are making is you are using your time and effort and money to compile. You know, like you are going around and gathering all the different names and addresses of people who sell something. Like, for instance, you are somebody that wants to link buyers in China. Sorry, sellers in China, manufacturers in China with buyers in Nigeria. So you decide to build some information that will help you to communicate with both parties. So the ones that I want to communicate with people that are in China, you compile information for them that will be useful to them. All right. Then the Chinese people that want to sell to people in Nigeria, you compile information that's useful to them. Then you let both parties know on your website that you have this information that they badly need in order to connect with the people that they want to sell to, and the other Nigerians badly need in order to communicate with people that they want to buy from. Naturally, they will come because they would like to save time, energy, and money to find that information. Since you have compiled everything already, they don't want to go and reinvent the wheel. So they will come to you and they will say, bros, can we have access to that thing? Then you tell them, in order to have access to that thing, it's actually free. But join my website, become a member of my, maybe you have 3 levels. You have the bronze level, you have the silver level, you have the gold level of membership. And you tell them the bronze level, maybe it costs you 5,000 naira for 1 year. So once you they pay for bronze level, you give them access to those materials. If they want you to help them link up with those maybe people and all that and communicate and establish, do background check, you say they should go up to silver level. The point is, all those things you are selling are not products. They're just access to certain things you can do. The point I'm making is that, first of all, you start by using what we call the low ticket entry. You just sell some information, an idea. You dangle that out and they're interested in it. And that's basically what I did with the BSF people. What I did was I looked at the fact that people were looking for solutions to solve, solutions for the high feeding problem, high cost of feeding. And the alternatives that were available were the traditional alternatives were expensive. Soybean meal was expensive. Fish meal was expensive. So I had to help people to look at alternatives that were tried and tested that they could adopt immediately, not something they have to futuristically work towards. So I looked at it and I found out that those issues of Daphnia, maggots, the housefly maggots, and then larval black soldier fly in particular were superb alternatives, and they were already being used, and there was a lot of documented information that could be explored or studied to adopt it within a matter of days. And then I also said, okay, I talked to my farmers and they all complained that there's no place you can find BSF breeders. I said, that's not true. I've interacted with some of them. So I decided to compile a list and I will now begin to call up the BSF producers. And one after the other, I began to interview them and I would dissect what they were telling me and I would double check them, I would background check them until I narrowed down to just about three that I saw were really, really, really doing the stuff and able to deliver. And since then, I have tried to link up those 3, and it's only one of them that I've found that consistently now. All right, this makes the 3rd person. Okay, let me see. Okay, no, this is the 2nd person I've linked him with. Then there's a 3rd person I have, all right, who came to me on his own asking about it and later came back to tell me he had found somebody who turned out to be one of the 3 I had chosen. And that person has supplied him and he is also doing well. I've told him I'm going to call him back also to find out how he's doing now. But as when I spoke to him, he had already hatched some and all that and was doing well. So my point is, what I've done here is successfully create alternative income stream for myself, potentially renewable or repeatable by choosing to compile information that's useful to other people. I don't need it, but I know my farmers need it. So you can look at what your target audience needs, not directly what you're selling that they're already buying from you, but other things that they need that you can put together that you don't have to create. So that I don't look, you need money, right? So don't go and do something you have to start creating. It's not always easy like that. I do it spontaneously. I'm very good at it, but not everybody can do that. But you can compile resources and information and ideas. It's not, you can sell ideas. I sell ideas. Then you put it all together and then begin to announce it. So you've got to have a platform where you talk about it. You've got to have people you talk about it to. That's why I told you the most important thing you need to do in order to sell at any point in time is to have a database containing email addresses and phone numbers of all the people you want to talk to. So every time somebody reaches out to you, get those two important details out of him or her. I want your phone number on WhatsApp, especially if possible, and I want your email address. He gives you those things, you find a way to reward him for that, and then you continue to upsell to the person for life. That is why it's never good to put your eggs in the basket of Facebook or Twitter or any of that, because the minute they ban them or block you or say you did something wrong and suspend you, you'll be crippled for that length of time off permanently if you put all your eggs in that basket. But if you put all your eggs in a basket you control, which is where you keep your phone numbers and email address of all the people you are selling to or you hope to sell to, automatically it doesn't matter what happens on those other platforms. Those platforms become support platforms to you. They won't be the main platform from which you are launching your marketing messages. Therefore, nobody can stop you. I mean, you really have to get into big trouble to have yourself blocked on email and phone numbers. So, and why would you do that if you're a person that's acting with integrity? So that's it. You can see how at least another way you can think about creating opportunities to make money. So this finding good buyers is not just about finding good buyers for your main products and services. It is also finding good buyers for every other thing you can possibly come up with the idea of selling. Any other thing you can sell. So be a person that is constantly thinking of multiple ways to make money. Don't think that you have to make money in the main way you started out. Any other way you can make money, especially any other way you can make money without doing more work, should be explored, so long as it's legitimate. You are an entrepreneur, so you have got to sell. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be that you sell only the thing that you are creating. You can partner with somebody else who has something to sell, and that thing that he has to sell is useful to your people, the people that you are selling to. You make your money as a joint venture partner. You get the bulk of the money, by the way, because that's a joint venture partnership. I'm going to talk about that in another series. So you can make money without lifting a finger, just by giving somebody else that you trust, that you have checked out, you've done about background check on him, and it's okay. Give him access to your network of buyers, so that he can market. You send his marketing message to them, all right, on his behalf, and then when they choose to buy, he gives you a piece of the action. That's legitimate business. It's done all over the world. It's called JV, joint venture partnership. I'll talk about that in another video.
No, I don't plan to call you long time now. Say, I ask you how far.
Hello, they talk to.
Hey, hello, can you hear me? This is Tayo Sholagbade from Lagos.
Tayo
Sholagbade.
Okay, Tayo. Okay. How you doing?
I did. How work?
Fine, my brother.
Yeah. I they don't plan. Say I will call you. Say, I ask you how far with the last year fly.
I don't get time.
You don't get time? What happened?
I don't get time.
Oh, you don't get time, Abi? Oh my God. So you are not producing?
Yeah, I just never get time, sir.
Okay.
You don't ask already.
Wow.
So I want to tell them to do this fly first.
I say you record yourself, or maybe they record yourself. That's something if you take they also make money, maybe they train people and others. Share your
No problem. Okay.
So the guy was able to come down and do it for you.
No, he didn't come down. He just sent it.
Okay, send it to you. Wow, lovely. So you are still in touch with him, Abi?
Yes, we are still in touch.
Okay, great. So anyway, I'll call you, Sha. How you move on, how they do.
I don't do many of my greenhouse for radio.
You mean now? I trust you. You don't tell me say you get big plans, so I don't say no go waste time.
No, I don't waste time.
Yeah, so we need them. Because once you don't this set, I want to be able to recommend you to other people too. You know.
No problem.
I was even just discussing you with somebody here, and I said, "Say, call you, ask you after." When I told him, the guy said, "Hey, got scared." I said, "See, you say you get friend with the race." I said, "Well, when this guy finish, he go teach that your friend."
Yes.
Say get friend, say that one no about. I said, "Bros, got not the way."
Even the local one I do before.
Yes.
I do some local one, just manage it, and not be small.
Okay.
Yeah, but this one is the highest.
Yes. Lovely. That's good. And I'll call you back, Sha.
All right, thank you, my brother.
All
I
right,
appreciate it.
cheers.